So I want to give you a special teaching, brief teaching on Metzorah. Share this teaching. The teaching of Tazria broke a lot of records. People contact me saying, wow, this is amazing teaching. Can you expound on this a little bit more? So I decided to do something a little bit special for you today. I'm going to teach Parashat Metzorah for a few moments, straight from the scroll I actually have here with me. And you're going to see it in a second. I have both Metzorah and Tazria. I hope everybody will be able to see this in a moment. But this is the beginning of Parashat Metzorah or Tazria. In order for us to understand Parashat Metzorah, we have to understand Parashat Tazria. So let me recap it for you for a moment. I hope you will be blessed by this. This is a very important and significant shiur. So I want you to pay attention. I am going to give you today a revelation that I promise you never heard before. As a recap to you, those who are don't remember, last week we read, and hopefully you can see it. I hope the quality of the camera is good enough. But it says, "Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe le'emo." God spoke to Moses to say, "Daber el bnei Israel le'emor, isha ki tazria v'yalda zachar u'temtmea shiv'at yamim כי ימי נידת דותה תטמא, וביום השמיני ימול בשר עלתו, ו30 יום או 30 ימים תשב בדמי טהרה. This is the entire gospel at the beginning of Tazria. I want everybody to understand it. A woman who bear a child, it says, will be unclean for 7 days, and on the day, the process of purification starts when the child is being circumcised. You notice that there is essence 2 births for the child. He is born, and then he's born in the community. That's why when you do Brit Milah, you have to have a mohel, you have to have a minyan, and we stand up in this and we say, Shmo yeh be'Israel, his name will be in Israel, so and so. And we give his name in the house of Israel because he's welcome in the community. Now notice that the woman is not clean. The rabbis explained to us that if you take this expression, Isha, okay, I hope you can really see it. Isha ki tazria v'yalda zachar, if you take woman who give birth and give birth to a child, if you take this expression, you take the first letter Aleph, plus Chaf, plus Taf, plus Vav, plus Zayin. You get the number 434, which is equivalent, the rabbis teach us, to the name Mashiach ben David, Messiah, son of David. If we want to understand who is this child that is born here, again, I'm going to get to Metzorah in a second, but friend, share this teaching. This teaching needs to get to the thousands of people because there's such a practical message in the Torah for us today that we must to understand. Who is the child that is being born? He is the leper, but he also they call Mashiach ben David. The number for Mashiach ben David is 434. Why Mashiach ben David is 424, yet his year is the number 434? Where is the discrepancy? The rabbi says that there is additional letter added to his name. It's the letter Yod. Remember that in the Yom Hashmini, on the 8th day, Imol Basar Alato, he is welcome to the community. This is the day that the Messiah is being revealed to the world. Everything that is happened from the beginning to the end is Parashat Tazria and Metzorah. Okay, in essence, we're seeing things in the macro level. We get a macro picture of Mashiach coming to the world, a Messiah that is coming to the world, and Israel is still not clean, although he's already came to the world, and he's, in essence, Israel become clean and the Messiah become clean only and only when he's welcomed by the community, by the house of Israel. This entire portion last week is called Parashat Tazria because we are learning the process, or we're starting the process of preparing for these 8 days. That's called the days of the Geulah. 6 is the number of man. 7 is the completion in this world, and notice it said by Yom HaShmini, it's talking about Ba'olam Haba, on the day of Mashiach. Okay, so why the letter Yod entered to his name? This is important to understand, because in the scripture we see 10 songs that are being sang, and the last song in Rabbinic Judaism is called the Song of the Messiah. We read about this song in the book of Revelation when we see, and they sing the song of Moses and the song of the Lamb. That's why the Yod is added to his name. I want you to understand it, that even for the Mashiach, his name will be transformed and changed in the last day. Mashiach will be in his fullness. We talk about the fullness of the Jews, the fullness of the Gentiles. And today in the Torah portion, we are going to learn about the fullness of the Mashiach. In essence, Parashat Metzorah is a continuation from last week, Torah portion. And I want you to notice what's happened. How do we get to the 8th day? How do we get to the day of Geulah? Everybody wants to come to the day of Geulah. And I want to challenge the body of Mashiach today. The day of Geulah will not happen when he is ready. The day of Geulah will happen when we are ready. This is a difference in the way Judaism viewed the Geulah and the way Christianity viewed the Geulah, and I want to prove it to you today from the text. This is a critical point. This week when Parashat Metzorah, keep on sharing this. This is foundation, because I think it's going to steer your heart through the Ruach HaKodesh to start to take actions in the last days to hasten the day of Mashiach. And remember in 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 11 and 12 what it says. He says, Peter says, what kind of man should you be in the last days? He says, men who practice holiness and Torahless, and in this you hasten the coming of the Lord. You want to know what Parashat Metzorah is about? Listen, he's called Metzorah, the leper scholar. But look at the name or the first sentence in the portion. And I quote, Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe le'emor. Zot Torat. Zot tiyeh Torat HaMetzorah beyom taharato. And God spoke to Moses to say, this will be the day, the Torah of the leper. You should know who the leper is the Mashiach, in the day of his cleansing, in his day of the revelation. Remember, last Torah portion, we call it the 8th day, the name that is welcome to the community. And here in this Torah portion, that Torah is such an important Torah portion. This is so critical. We are talking about the day that Mashiach revealed himself to the world. All of us should ask the question today, in this last day, how will Mashiach reveal himself to the world? And don't worry, Yolanda, I'm coming to the meeting with the Italian students after I finish the shiur. But the question is, how do we reveal Mashiach to the world? The question that Messianic movement need to ask themselves is today, how do we bring Mashiach to the world? What do we need to do in order for Mashiach to come to the world? And here in one word, one Hebrew word that I'm going to pinpoint to you, we get the answer about what the text called here, Beyom Taharato. How does the leper become clean? Now, first of all, ask the question, how does the leper become clean? Somebody have to say, clean, clean, clean. Somebody need to point to him and to say he's clean. Who is the one who is pointed to the Mashiach? He said, he is clean. It is Aaron, the high priest. Who is Aaron, the high priest in this story? Aaron, the high priest in this story, is Israel. Remember that Israel called, according to the book of Exodus, Mamlechet Kohanim. Exactly. Gianni, you get a bonus point here. Israel is the Mamlechet Kohanim. Israel have to say he is clean, just as Aaron had to say he is clean. This is very, very important. Look at this. But the problem, okay, that in order to make him clean, right, he's outside the camp. Somehow we have to come to the proximity of the camp. This is important. This shiur is critical. The high priest could not completely leave the camp. And look what it says. This is important. There's one word I want you to learn today. It's here. It gives us the entire gospel. One word. Vehu va el akohen. In the word huva, this is like when we say hevenu, hevenu shalom alechem, right? When we say hevenu, it's meant to bring. Somebody has to bring him to the camp. This is the entire gospel, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody has to leave the camp completely and bring him to the gates of the camp. Somebody has to make a way for him. Yes, Matt, I know I'm going to be there in 11. Don't worry. Okay, I'm live. Somebody has to bring him into the camp. It doesn't say that Aaron would leave the camp. Israel can never fully leave the camp. Somebody has to go outside the camp. And isn't that what the book of Hebrews chapter 13 exactly said? He said, come now. Paul says, come now, let us go outside the camp. Becoming lepers, says Mashiach, bearing its shame and bring him inside the camp. The camp is the house of Israel. The entire gospel here is given us through this word, Beyond Taharato, in the day of his cleansing. The day of his cleansing come is when somebody who is willing to go outside the camp, to be persecuted, to be condemned, and to bring him back to the house of Israel. The problem is when we make the camp to become the church, we're bringing the Mashiach to the wrong camp. What is wrong with that? There's something huge wrong with that, because Israel is the one who has to identify it. Israel is the one who has to say he is clean. So here it says in the text, Vehuva el akohen. And then the camp, then the high priest could just set foot just there to meet the Mashiach. The job of the Messianic movement today, ladies and gentlemen, is to bring the Mashiach to be kosher to the house of Israel again. But in order to do this, somebody has to go outside the camp and bring him to Israel. Somebody contacted me this week. He says to me, a leader in the Messianic movement says to me, Rabbi Shapira, are you telling us that the only Messianic authentic Judaism that you teach is the Judaism that you teach is the only authentic Messianic Judaism? I said, no. Anybody who bring the Messiah to the camp of Israel without the Christian bias, without the garment of Edom, without Christianity, so that Israel can look at the Messiah face to face and eye to eye, is doing holy work. This is the mandate of Messianic Judaism. This is the mandate of the nations who are joining the house of Israel, to go out, and this Israel will look upon him, and in this Israel will reconcile with him. And look what it says, and the priest went outside the camp, and he saw him, והנה נרפא נגע הצרת. And he will be healed and he will be clean from the blemish that is called the tzarat. You want to know how he will be cleaned, how he will be blemished? When we bring him to the outskirts of Zion. Yeshua cannot come to Zion. I want to understand, explain this to you. That's why it says in the book of Kohelet that nobody knew his name in the city. He is the Savior of Zion, yet nobody knows his Savior of Zion because it's an issue of legality. It's an issue of legality. He cannot return to Zion because Israel have to allow him into the camp. Because he is a Nagua, the Mashiach today, it says in the book of Corinthians, he became sin. He is the nega. He has to be healed. You know how Yeshua getting healed? I know it sounds almost radical to you, but Mashiach have to be healed by Israel. Israel need Mashiach, and Mashiach need Israel. Why? Because the Mashiach is the Son of God, and Israel is the Son of God, and neither one of them is whole, and neither one of them is complete without each other. They need each other. I want you to explain that, to understand it. Mashiach need Israel, and Israel need Mashiach. They need each other, okay? So here, and it says, and they brought him into the camp. Why am I challenging you today? Because I sense through the Holy Spirit that there is camp that says we want to bring him to Israel, and this is why I want to challenge us today. We want to bring him to the camp of Israel. Yeah, we want to recognize Yeshua as the Jewish Messiah. But hey, before I bring him to the camp of the house of Israel, let me change the camp. I don't like the camp. I don't like the Judaism. I don't like the fact that Judaism keep meat and it's separate meat and dairy. I don't like the way Judaism celebrate the feast. I don't like the way Judaism read the Torah. I don't like the way Judaism is. So yeah, I will bring him inside, but I will change. I will change the camp. So I will bring him to the wrong camp. Are you hearing what I am telling you? When it says, Vehuva el Akohen, he is being brought to the house of Israel. Nobody has an authority to change Judaism. Nobody has an authority to change the camp. We have to bring him because Israel have to meet him in the Brit Milah in the second day. That's the only time Israel become cleansed. You see, when the leper become cleansed, Israel becoming cleansed at the exact same moment. It's a paradox. Israel see the leprosy of the Mashiach, but they don't understand that they also have the same leprosy. Why? Because the Son of God is Israel and the Son of God is Mashiach. When Mashiach is healed, Israel is being healed. My challenge today to Messianic Jews and Gentiles alike. People ask me this about my conviction. Should we bring people to Judaism? And I say it publicly, and any organization and anybody can quote me. Yes and amen. Because if we bring them to Hebrew roots, it is the wrong camp. Christianity is the wrong camp. The only camp is the house of Israel. And I need everybody to understand there's only one camp. It's Israel. The only one who's called Mamlechet Kohanim, Israel. Therefore, we have a mandate in Messianic Judaism today to teach people what the camp look like. People come to Judaism and Messianic Judaism and they ask the question, well, why am I here? We should ask the people, why are you here? Why are you coming to Messianic Judaism? Your only reason to come to Messianic Judaism, if you are not Jew, is to make a highway back to the camp. So we will get to this day called Beyom Taharato. You see, the Torah portion called Metzorah, but the entire portion deal with this day of his cleansing, the day of the Geulah. The entire portion is deal with the fact that he have to be purified, and Yeshua cannot be purified without Israel welcome him to the community. That's why we teach Judaism, so that we bring Yeshua back to the right place and not to the wrong house. For 2,000 years, he's going to the wrong camp. and he's being purified, and he's being revered, and he's being loved, but it is not the right camp. And that's why Acts 1:6 says the disciples ask Yeshua, Lord, have you come to restore the kingdom back to the house of Israel? What I am challenging you today, the question should not be, do you observe too much Torah? Do you observe too little Torah? Do you put people under the law, over the law, sideways to the law? I am so tired of hearing this type of discussion. The question should be simple. Are you here? And this is my challenge to us. Are we here to bring Mashiach? To bring Mashiach to the camp of the house of Israel? That is the only question that is relevant, that we must ask in the last days. Do we come, especially the Gentile, do they come to understanding of who is the Mashiach for their own self? Or do they come for this word here, Vehuva El HaKohen, so that we bring Yeshua on a silver platter to the house of Israel, so that the house of Israel will look eye to eye at Yeshua, and they'll say, oh, what are you doing here? Yeshua, what are you doing here in the camp of the house of Israel? We have to return into the right place. And you know what they say in real estate? Location, location, location. It is all about the location. But I want you to understand that those people, Vehuva El HaKohen, okay, somebody left the camp. That's what the linguistic, that's what the holy tongue suggesting, that somebody that is inside the camp, somebody who is a believer, somebody who is quote unquote inside the commonwealth of Israel, is willing to be rejected, is willing to be despised, is willing to leave the camp in order to come straight or to bring Yeshua straight to Zion. My question to us today is simple. What are we willing to give up for this day? Beyom Tarato, to see the day of Mashiach. Mashiach is not waiting. He is waiting upon us. He is looking for men and women who are brave, who are willing to go out and to bring him in submission and in humility to the Jewish people. What I am seeing prophetically all over the world, that many Christians are waking up to the Jewish roots of their faith, but they're not asking the question, why I am being woken up? Why is God waking me up? And he's not waking you up just you can learn a few Hebrew words and you know what is a gefilte fish or celebrate the Passover Seder or know the Hava Nagila. This is not why God waking you up. God is waking you up for this, so that you will bring Mashiach for the day of his taharato, for the day of his cleansing. That's why God is waking you, and I am challenging you. This week I got phone calls and emails where people tell me, well, the Yeshiva just want to bring people to Judaism. That's what we want to do. That's not what we want to do. That is not the motivation. It should not be your motivation. As a matter of fact, one organization wrote me this week, you just want people to become Orthodox Jews. That is a lie. This is not the point. The point is Israel. The point is Israel and the Jewish people. We must bring him in his condition. And his condition today is a leper. I don't care what anybody says. Yeshua is a leper to the house of Israel today. He's still in Ben Yosef's state. He is not in Ben David's state today. And that's why his name is not recognized in the house of Israel. 2,000 years of Christianity made sure that he is still Ben Yosef. Praise God that there is a remnant in the church that is waking up today and are preparing and getting ready all over the world to return Yeshua back to the camp and to the house of Israel. I am challenging you today, and I'm asking you, are you willing to do this? If you're willing to do this, know where you are heading to, know your destination, know why you're in the Messianic movement. It have nothing to do with you. You will gain nothing. Your salvation will be nothing. It is about the Jewish people. What do you mean? It's not about me? No, it is not about you. It's about the Jewish people and about the Messiah. He is today in a state of leper. People ask me, why are you laboring so hard? People tell me, well, we love your theology, Rabbi Shapira. We hate your theology. We love your work. Don't you understand that the work is stemmed from the theology? The theology is not a theology of condemnation. The message that is giving to the church today is wrong. Give us your tithe money and pray for the peace of Jerusalem. I am sick and tired of hearing it. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. And just send your tithe money to Jerusalem. And you have done your job, Christian. Bravo, bravo. Oh, you can go to Israel 3 times a year, maybe spend a few shekels. Oh, Christian, you have done your work. Let me tell you something. You have been lied to. Your number one priority is to bring the Mashiach, the real Mashiach, to the house of Israel. That is your job. That is your calling. And that is your mandate. So why do you study Messianic Judaism? And don't be ashamed to say Messianic Judaism. I am a student of Messianic Judaism. Don't say I'm a student of Hebrew roots. Hebrew roots is the wrong camp. Sorry. Jewish roots is closer. But you can say, I am a student of the Messianic Judaism because I need a GPS that will show me where the house of Israel to. Because I have Mashiach, but Mashiach does not belong to me. He belongs to the people of Israel who need him. They're incomplete without him. Therefore, I am going to learn Messianic Judaism. I am going to learn Torah. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? Let no man condemn you. I see a pattern that starts to really disturb me, disturb my spirit, disturb my kishke, that minimize the call of the nations in the last day to prayer and money. This is not the case. We must bring Mashiach, and this is the message of Parashat Metzorah. Yom Ta'arato ve'huva el HaKohen. How do you do this? You grab the tzitzit of a Jew, of a Messianic Jew, and you walk with the Messianic Jew. And if any Jew, and I will say it publicly, if any Jew will come to you and tell you, oh, you don't need to do those things, therefore the Jewish people, you are to challenge them. Challenge them and say, I don't do those things for my salvation. I don't do those things because I am more or better and more holy. I do those things because I want to know where to bring Yeshua to. And we don't need to bring Yeshua to Christianity. He's already in Christianity. He is already in Edom. He is already in Rome. We need Yeshua to return home. Notice that Israel have to do something, because in the tip of the eye, Aaron see the Kohen, Aaron see the people showing up. They're outside the camp. They're cursed. They're cut off from the people. So Aaron go outside. Aaron go outside and he meet them. He does not fully leave the camp. Don't expect the Jewish people to leave the camp. I remember the first time I became a believer, people like come and ask me, so how long have you been a Christian? And I looked behind and I said, who do you call a Christian? A Jew should not be a Christian. It is a Christian who needs to learn and take upon himself the identity of the camp of Israel. I am challenging you today. If you really want to see Yeshua returning, and I believe that everybody in this broadcast, and I hope you share this broadcast, because my heart is crying. Why is it cool? Why is it accepted? When a Gentile becomes part of the Hebrew roots movement or Messianic movement, why is it okay for him to say to him, oh, just pray and give your money? But when a Gentile wants to go a step further and he wants to learn how to bring the camp to Israel, why is it becoming all of a sudden a problem? It should not be. it should be joy. But separately, I will say on the opposite side, if you're not from the nation, if you're from the nations, you need to know why you are coming to the covenants of Israel. If you are coming to the covenant of Israel for yourself, the Torah will become a death trap unto you and your family. Examine your motivation, beloved. When I go all over the world, I see clearly a picture that the body of Messiah does not always examine the motivation. I go to the churches and I ask him, oh, do you want to come to the covenant? Say, yes, so that we may be blessed. It's always about we, the church, will be blessed. No, it's not about the church being blessed. It's about Israel being blessed. It's about Yeshua being blessed. It's about the leprosy removing from Messiah and from the house of Israel. That's what it is about, beloved. I want to understand you. I explain this to you. I don't want to make Christians lovers of Israel. Not interested. You want that? Go somewhere else. Unsubscribe from our channel. Sei gesund, as they say in Yiddish. I will challenge you. I will not condemn you. And I believe that over 1,100 messages we have given, we have never condemned anybody for this. Please understand, the time is short. And at the end of the day, when you stand before Mashiach, he's going to ask you one question. Are you ready to answer this question? He's going to answer the question, what have you done to bring me to the house of Israel? What have you done to bring me to the nations of earth? That is the question he's going to ask the nations. And some will be called great, and some will be called least in these days. God bless Pastor Matt McEwen for establishing Kosher Pastor Program, so the nation can gently and slowly start to learn about the camp of the house of Israel. Don't rebuke, don't condemn somebody who is not there with us. Simply walk and challenge them. That's what I believe we are doing. That's what we continue to do. And I want you to know something. Mashiach has not returned yet today. It's because nobody brought him. This is my life mission. And I will live and I will die for this. To make sure that we raise an army all over the world. All over the world. In Yeshiva Tshuvu, in Ahavat Ammi ministries, that return Yeshua to Zion. Yeshua, not Yeshua with a little bit of Judaism and a little bit of Christianity. The Yeshua, the Jewish Messiah, return him to the house of Israel. Those who want to partake in this, we welcome you. We open the door. We will support you. We will support your journey. But those who want any other Yeshua or any other camp, I say go to the other camps. Sei gesund. We must make sure. And you know, I'm speaking today probably with a little bit more conviction. Maybe it's because I have not taught the pearls of Torah anymore. I give it to my student. But how blessed I am that God has allowed me to teach the pearls of Torah in Parashat Metzorah. I am hurt that when I go to Israel and I mention Yeshua, people say Yeshu, Yimach Shmo v'zichro, may his name be cursed. You know what they say? Because nobody brought Yeshua back home. But now he is raising an army. People ask me, you know, Rabbi Shapiro, all those Messianic yeshivas, they have much more money than yours. And you're been only for a few years. How come your yeshiva is the largest one of the largest one in the world? How can it happen in such a short time? I'll tell you how it can happen. Because the message is the right message. The message is the right message. The message is, let's bring Mashiach. Let's not sit on our butts and wait for Mashiach. Let us bring Mashiach. And this is my invitation to you today. Do I put you under the law? No, I don't put you under the law. I am issuing right now an invitation to anybody who watch us, with every nation, every tribe, and every tongue. Let us hasten the day of the cleansing of the Messiah. Let us do it together. Anyway, I know today's study was a challenging study, short but challenging. I must run. My students are waiting to me, but I bless you in the name of Yeshua. And again, if I offended you in any way, please test my words against Parashat Metzorah and ask yourself the question, how come Yeshua came 2,000 years ago and the Geulah is yet to happen? You will find out and you will see that nobody fulfilled the verse from the Holy Torah this week. Vehuva el Akohen. When we sing the song, Evenu Shalom Alechem, Evenu Shalom Alechem, Shalom is one of the name of the Mashiach, Sar Shalom. God has called you to step outside of your comfort zone today, not tomorrow, not in Passover, but today, to move forward in bringing Mashiach to the world. God bless you. Do it, not for your own benefits, so that the leprosy will be removed from me. What do you mean? What do you mean from you, Rabbi Shapiro? You're not a leper. Yes, I am. I am a leper. Rabbi Bernstein a leper. And every Messianic Jew in the world is still a leper today because the wholeness has not come to our people. So I'm asking you, run, and run fast and bring the Messiah. I speak to you today through the conviction of the Holy Spirit, and I hope you understand this. Run and bring into the camp of Israel, not the camp that the church made, not the camp of the Hebrew roots, to the camp of the house of Israel. God bless you. Again, as always, as I say always to you, I never want to challenge too hard or to hurt anybody's emotions or feeling too hard, but I also hope that this study today is something that we can all take to heart. Avinu Shebashamayim, I thank you that you bring people to conviction today. You convict your tzaddikim, Lord, and you you speak to their hearts. I'm asking, Lord, for a real revelation of everything that I'm saying today. Let us work diligently for the salvation of the house of Israel. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Amen and amen. God bless you, Chaverim. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Litraot. This is the Pearls of Torah for this week. Shalom.